carry straps are
attached. Yeah, they're attached. So we're just undoing them.
Well, just like the Albion's senior side, Shannon Ruth's under-21s have also entered their winter break. And just as there is for many of those in the men's team, there is a winter tournament rumbling on to keep the players busy. Premier League Cup action today for the young Seagulls. 32 of the best academies in England split across 8 groups doing battle for one end-of-season trophy. QPR, the opponents this evening in Brighton and Hove Albion's second group stage game. Let's have a look at the lineups then, starting with Queen's Park Rangers. They make just 2 changes to the side that fell 4-0 to Swansea in their last league game. Former Spurs prospect Rafferty Pedder coming in for Stan Flaherty, and Murphy Maloney taking the place of Matteo Salomon in goal. As for the Seagulls, Shannon Ruth makes a whopping 6 changes to the side that secured a 2-1 victory over Blackburn Rovers in the Premier League 2. James Beadle makes way for Killian Cahill in goal, while there's a first start of the season for Matthew Everett. Marcus Eiffel continues his transition from under-18s to under-21s with a 5th appearance of the campaign. Referee for today is Parsons. He's assisted by Scott and Hurst. We see Shannon Ruth trotting off the pitch to take his place in the dugout. He'll be hoping this fixture goes a little bit better than the Albion's first Premier League Cup game a long time ago. Just the 3rd game of the season, a 3-0 defeat to Bournemouth that day. But this is a very different Seagulls side, and one that has grown a lot. They've been in fine fettle in the Premier League 2. And now all eyes to see whether they can bring that to the cup competitions they're taking part in this year. QPR will get us underway at the Powderday Stadium. Cotter stands over the ball in the centre circle for the Soup Hoops. Seagulls in their crimson kit. QPR, their traditional blue and white hoops. Referee raises an arm in the direction of both goalkeepers, checks his watch, and we're underway in London. QPR get us moving through the middle of the park. Sent out to Rendell. Pressure coming early from the Seagulls, just fired into the touchline. An early work for Songi to do as he plays that out behind. QPR throwing up the left-hand side. Pitblado will take. that long Premier League 2 break. Really important that the Seagulls keep that momentum going. Break couldn't really have come at a much worse time for Shannon Ruth's side. Beaten in 5 in the Premier League 2, winning 3 of them. A victory over Feyenoord in the Premier League International Cup in that run. She's been firing off all cylinders as Cahill's first action is to fire away into midfield. Drops loose and flicked over the top. Looking for a Darkwa, but Cahill can scoop up. Moran twisting out of pressure and chipping one up the line. Not controlled properly by Eiffel. Might run through to Everett. Wilson takes over and into the channel where Eiffel can give chase. Still going, Marcus Eiffel, just standing up his man. Delivery's deflected behind. Well, in fact, no deflection on that one, so just a poor ball in the box in the end by Eiffel. Murphy Maloney to take the goal kick for the R's. Well over halfway it goes. Holding it up is Lloyd. Gets help from Barla. Moran gets a toe in midfield and is evidently tripped, so Albion free kick, which Rafferty Pedder will prevent them from taking quickly. Mentioned the changes, 6 of them for Shannon Ruth. It isn't the regular Albion under-21s out there tonight, as Moran manages just to evade pressure in a tricky situation. Once more looks for Eiffel. Plenty of faces that have been on the fringes, whether that be under Andrew Crofts before his step up to the first team or with Shannon Ruth. Murphy Maloney looking long for QPR. Controlled by Perpion. First time Moran. You see plenty of the ball so far. Cahill drives away looking over the top. Ben Wilson will force Maloney to come scrambling out his goal. Here's Perpion. Fullback to fullback as he finds James Furlong. Songi takes a heavy touch. Keeps it regardless to a fire. Covering challenge from Pip Blado prevents Eiffel from going any further. I mentioned that first game against Bournemouth. Somewhat misleading to say that Bournemouth, Category 3 Academy, were the huge underdogs against Category 1 Albion. It doesn't always work like that. Facilities don't necessarily mean success, and you can call up to 5 overage players into your lineup for this tournament, and Bournemouth did take advantage of that in that game as well. It's a very different Seagulls side now. Just a sense they were still dusting off the cobwebs in what was just their 3rd game of the season. Moran, so composed on the ball. Perpion. A fire. Shushain. Another one having his first year with the under-21s. Big part of the under-18s side last year, the Frenchman Sami Shushain. Perpion just takes it on the back foot, and space ahead of him up the line. Quickly closed down by Pedder. Moran, he's given it away to Cotter, but that wasn't Cotter's best ball. Perpion. Back to a fire. Songi. Darkwa forces him back to Cahill. Seagulls more than happy just to shift that one out from the back though, and now there's space for Furlong. Samuels. Still going, Amari Samuels. Seagulls have want to throw up the left. Shushain thinks about the switch, pulls the trigger on it. Brought down brilliantly by Perpion. Eiffel ahead of him. Into Eiffel, turning in the penalty area, but running into Rendell and then winning a free kick for the Albion. Good bit of play that from Marcus Eiffel. Lovely switch from Shushain to set it up, find Perpion in space, and then tried to operate the overlap on the right-hand side. have won a free kick. So Shushain and Moran pondering what to conjure from this position. Be an outswinger from Sami Shushain. Plenty of crimson shirts to aim for. Driven towards the back post. Well cleared by QPR. And then Perpion's just been shrugged off the ball by Lloyd. Wanted a free kick, didn't get one, but he's wriggled himself out of a tight spot there and has numbers forward. One of them was our Darkwa, but Songi read his intentions. So here's Eiffel. Songi. Moran to a fire. Perpion, Shushain. First touch football from the Albion, but they don't find any avenue to exploit. Furlong to Samuels, signed this summer from Reading. Another exciting prospect that chose to join the Albion's academy, wasn't released. Luca Barrington, the notable other one, he's been in fine form for the Seagulls after signing from Man City. Pip Blado just sliding it into the path of Bala. Songi can just see it out of play. You wondered what sort of Antef Songi would come back for the Seagulls after that horrible injury he suffered against Liverpool last year. And he has put any doubts to rest with his performances over the last 6 weeks or so. Still the force he once was. Still part of the Belgian youth setup as well. Raised in Crawley, born in Belgium, so represents the Red Devils. Maybe one day to follow in the footsteps of Trossard, who's earned that World Cup call-up. Cahill. Here is Antef Songi. It's a poor ball though from Antef Songi, right to Lloyd, who can stride towards goal. QPR looking to make it pay, looking to make Songi pay, and they do successfully. Our Darkwa with the finish. And Antef Songi with a moment of madness really, just squaring it straight to Alfie Lloyd. 25 yards out, and then all he had to do was bring it towards goal. Thought about the shot himself, had the presence of mind to slip in our Darkwa. And our Darkwa tucked in under Cahill, and it's 1-0 QPR in London. And the curse of the commentator perhaps striking again there, just moments after I was singing the praises of Antef Songi. An unfortunate error for the Belgian centre-back. And it is the Category 2 Academy that take the lead over the Seagulls. Furlong. Sort of response to the Albion have in the locker. Moran. It's another misplaced pass. Our Darkwa. Lloyd joining in to his right, so too is Bala. Darkwa will keep it and keep on running into Albion territory. Murphy. Bala on the right. And then Blado just running out of room, and running over the touchline. Seagulls throw about 20 yards from their own corner flag. Everett. Moran to Samuels. Furlong joining in beyond him. Songi, really important that Songi's next pass is a positive one, and he goes out to the left-hand side. Furlong. Moran. Perpion. Eiffel just clattered to the turf, but did win a throw for the Seagulls. In front of QPR manager Paul Hall, a man that knows a thing or two about World Cups himself. Part of the Jamaican Reggae Boys team that qualified for the 1998 World Cup, while a player at Portsmouth. Furlong. QPR just settling into that defensive shape now. Really old school 4-4-2, sat in front of the Albion, which they're daring them to break down. A fire. Swept out to the left, Samuels. Moran back on the ball, just chipping one out to this right-hand side. But it drop at the feet of Perpion, who controls it well, but Pitblado straight in to challenge him. And then just escapes away up the line. Moran. Bit of space for Samuels just on that left-hand side. Chooses to go back in field to Moran. Furlong. Breaking past the fullback. Drifted across to the penalty area, and Eiffel hits it straight into the arms of Maloney. It's a nice cut back from Furlong, something he does very well. And Eiffel just couldn't get the necessary velocity on that half volley to try and break the back of the net. Bounced comfortably into the arms of Maloney in the end, but Albion looking positive up that left wing. Here's Lloyd for QPR, giving it straight back to the Seagulls. Plenty of time for Shannon Ruth's side to try and turn this one around. Perpion. Wonderfully done to find a fire. Fire just running into trouble for a moment. There's Perpion again. Moran with some pace about him as he drives forward. Samuels. Up to Ben Wilson. Can't quite hold it up. Jude Boyd, risky pass back to Maloney, who's able to hook away. Immediately you see how physical and powerful the two QPR forwards are Darkborough and Lloyd. Not the type of forwards perhaps Songi and Afara are used to contending with in their regular Premier League 2 fixtures. Perpion's done well to cut in from the right flank. Eiffel takes over. Moran chipped back out looking for Perpion, headed away by Pitblado. Perpion standing up his man, cutting in field, still going round the corner, a fire in the penalty area and blocked behind for a Seagulls corner. And the centre-back made it all the way into the opposing penalty area. And when Perpion played the reverse ball back into his path, his shot towards goal was just blocked. Seagulls corner kick from the right. Shushain on it again. Right arm in the air from Shushain. Looping delivery towards the back post. Almost runs through to Eiffel. It's beyond everyone. Moran. Wonderful composure again from Andrew Moran. He's done that a few times in the opening quarter of an hour of this one. Another dinked ball forward from Shushain, this time for Wilson. Songi. Albion, an Australian youth international, spotted at the Under-20 World Cup, and that is a theme of recent weeks in the football world. World Cups, international tournaments, but one team that won't be taking a long winter break is the Albion women's team. You can catch them in action against Liverpool next Saturday. Ticket information on the Albion website. Right now, though, here's Samuels. Furlong. Shushain looking back round the corner, but he's won it back for the Seagulls high. Shushain looking back for Everett, but it's intercepted by Pedder. Final ball just letting the Seagulls down in the last few exchanges of play. Lloyd. Jude Boyd has to go all the way back to the Italian Ivo Rossi. Headed forward by the Albion. Eiffel controls in the penalty area and looks towards the referee. In truth, the appeals were somewhat muted. Eiffel still protests his claim. It was just a looping ball back into the penalty area. Eiffel took it down on the chest, and from where we're sitting, doesn't look like there's enough in that from Ivo Rossi to bring the Albion's number 7 down. Piblado to take the throw. From QPR since 2018. Before that, and an appearance with the youth team of Scotland, under 16 level. Songi to Cahill. Samuels takes it over halfway. Wilson's continued his run in that left flank. Just trying to dig out across. Again, it's deflected behind. For an Albion corner kick, it seems, on the left-hand side. Another chance, perhaps, for Shushain to deliver. Will be the Frenchman again. So a different signal this time from Shushain. It's one from the training ground, short to Moran. Back to Sami Shushain. Appeals for offside, waved away. Clever turn in there from Perpion, wriggling his way free in the penalty area, but then losing out to a swarm of blue and white shirts. And Pedder can come the other way. Bala looking back for Pedder. It's a foot race between him and Moran just about gets there first. A fire, he'll be pressed by Ardakwa. A long sweeping ball over the top only finds Murphy Maloney. This is not a young Super Hoop side in good form. They haven't won a game in any competition, in any format, since September the 23rd, the B team. And Albion are breaking forward here through Wilson, who for the first time today tests Murphy Maloney with a low effort. Just came from the Albion pinching the ball high, and Moran just laid it first time into Wilson. But it was a tame effort in the end, which Maloney was able to claim comfortably. Pedder. Skips past Moran. Over halfway goes Rafferty Pedder. Into Lloyd. Balla joining in edge of the area, but Lloyd will go alone, looking for the angle, trips in the penalty area, and the Seagulls can bring it away. "20 minutes gone. Really only 2 or 3 chances in this game. Wilson and Eiffel with efforts that were saved, and QPR with just the one, which they took. That's all they've needed to take the lead. Miserable conditions as the rain continues to hammer down at the stadium of Handwell Town, Powderday Stadium. A fire to Shushane, towing it forward, drops fortuitously to Eiffel, who's found Wilson. Murphy Maloney's out of goal, it's cleared away, only as far as Wilson once more. Samuels on the left, and then a poor ball back to Wilson, but Moran's pinched it high once more, dancing his way to the edge of the penalty area. Perpion looking for the byline, and he's found it, rolled across goal and smashed off the bar. Might drop to Shushane, hammered wide via a deflection, and the Seagulls will have another corner. 2 wonderful chances to take the lead. Perpion did brilliantly to break into the area, rolled it across the face of goal, it smashed off the bar, and then Shushane on the follow-up couldn't find the back of the net. It was Moran that had the first effort that came back off the woodwork. Seagulls knocking on the door, and they have the chance to do so again with a 4th Sami Shushane corner kick. Still waiting for this delivery into the box. Sami Shushane, who signed from AC Boulogne-Billancourt in France. And we see the reason for that delay is that Andrew Moran is down in a heap by the post, presumably injured as he tried to scramble that one over the line. And that would be a blow for the Seagulls. Andrew Moran, with his 4 goals and 4 assists this year, has already matched his tally for the entirety of last season with what was Andrew Croft's side, which is now Shannon Ruth's side. Two arms in the air from Shushane. Now the delivery will come in. But not before Andrew Moran trots off the touchline. Well, Shushane's had enough time to think about what he wants to do with this ball. So in it goes from Shushane, an outswinger towards the back post area, headed straight up in the air. Might drop at the feet of Everett. Once more, Adarkwa heads away, and then it's helped on by Rendell. Perpion with a beautiful turn, which just broke him past Murphy and won him a free kick as well. Ran back on the pitch. 20 minutes to go till half-time. And since that QPR goal, it has been all Albion. So Shushane and Moran standing over the free kick. A nice position to try and find someone in the penalty area, but so far QPR have defended resolutely from every set piece. And the height in their side has been a huge factor. So Shushane to take the in-swinger, driven towards the hands of Murphy Maloney, doesn't claim it convincingly, but at the second attempt will throw it out into an on-rushing Murphy. That's Cotter, in fact, that just rolls it forward, but only finds the hands of Killian Cahill. Albion without Evan Ferguson in this game. Missed large parts of this season due to involvement with the first team, but it's actually on international duty with the Ireland full senior side. A first call up for Evan Ferguson, a wonderful moment for him. He described it as a dream to the Albion media team in the week, and he might have the chance to play against none other than Erling Haaland, because Ireland take on Malta and Norway, given the fact they are not travelling to the World Cup. But a huge moment for Evan Ferguson of the Albion under-21 side. Murray Samuels. Songi. Out towards Pip Blado, who just about skims that into Perpion, and that made sure the Australian miscontrolled it. Good bit of fullback play that from Pip Blado. Had to cover a lot of ground to get over there. Launched down the line from QPR's number 3. Over a fire. Won't beat Songi though, who can just send it back to Killian Cahill. Cahill under pressure from Bala. Furlong. Nowhere really for Furlong to go, and he's running into blue and white shirts everywhere. Did really well in the end to get out of that one with the ball. Moran just covering for his compatriot in the left back position, but he's given it away. Bala. Murphy looking for Cotter. Trip will give QPR possession back, and that suits them. Did mention their form, not winning a game in any competition since the 23rd of September, but recently it's been even more concerning with less draws and more losses. They're winless in 5, losing 4 of those, and lost 4-0 in their last Professional Development League South game against Swansea, conceding an awful lot of goals at the moment. Cross comes in from Jude Boyd into a dangerous area, ran right along the face of the 6-yard box. But Cahill can see it behind. And where the Rangers are based in London, they do lend themselves to picking up gems of talent. Most notably, Eze of the Crystal Palace first team broke through, but they've also seen the rise of Raheem Sterling, who spent time with QPR's academy. Peter Crouch, a brief time with that side. And then less notable players like Nigel Quasi, Warren Neal. Murphy. Back to Rossi. Rendell. Looking to beat Eiffel. That's no easy task. Eiffel tracking him every step of the way. Rendell's done very well. Pedder. Movement ahead of him. Finds Bala. 30 yards from goal. Bala to shoot from here. Hits Furlong. Might run back to Pedder. And a fine save from Killian Cahill to slap that one away. Murphy, round the corner to Rafferty Pedder, looking for Murphy again. Seagulls have pinched it back. Moran. Eiffel. Flag stayed down for now, but then it does eventually come up against Marcus Eiffel. Is that Killian Cahill save again, though. Bala from range, bounced right back to Rafferty Pedder, who got his foot round it. And you can't imagine Killian Cahill had the best view of that, with all the bodies in front of him, still able to keep it out the back of the net and ensure the lead remains just 1-0 to QPR as the weather continues to worsen here at Powderday Stadium. Stodgy surface, not lending itself to crisp passing football. For Blado. Shane. Calmly done. Cahill, not quite as calm. Pressure from QPR. Means that we will have, it looks to be a Rangers corner. No one quite sure whether this will be a corner or a throw. And it seems now it will be a throw. The best view of that left-hand channel. Pip Blado into the penalty area. Darkwa tries to control it on the half volley. And Shane helps it back to Perpion. Perpion's done really well there just to clear it upfield to Eiffel. Once more, Rendell takes it away from Eiffel. Bala. Rendell goes back to Murphy Maloney, who has seen first team action, one of the only players in the entire QPR under-21 setup to have seen that. He made his championship debut, I should say, against Preston North End in April of 2022, as Bala brings it forward. Still going, Bala, breaking challenges. Moran gets a toe in. The referee says not fairly. So Bala's won a free kick. And the Albanian wingers looked a handful early on. Low centre of gravity, the type of player that likes to run at people, but looks like Rafferty Pedder, rather unceremoniously, is going to rip that ball out the hands of the man that won it, Stephen Bala, and hand it instead to his teammate Murphy. So 4 in the Albion wall, and Murphy and Pedder standing over the free kick in a really dangerous position. Gaping hole in the left-hand side of that Albion goal, which Killian Cahill will hope is being protected by his wall. So will it be at the right boot of Murphy or the left boot of Pedder? It's going to be Murphy. It's well hit and just over Killian Cahill's bar. Sweetly struck by Harry Murphy and just didn't dip in time to nestle in the back of the net. Wasn't right in the corner in truth, and Cahill got a good leap. And that good wave of pressure the Seagulls had after conceding is starting to fade slightly. They've given it away again. Bala gifted it to Perpion. Shane with a strange ball back to Killian Cahill, and not a ball that I think any keeper would particularly want to deal with. Jude Boyd to take the throw on the right for QPR. Darkwa. Jude Boyd once more, waiting for movement, comes in the form of Harry Murphy. Rendell, forced backwards by Eiffel. Those two have been going at it all game. Cotter. Murphy Maloney. Now a foul. Cahill does well, bounces over a Fire's head. Eiffel runs onto it. Fire's continued his run and is a long way from that right centre-back position, but he's forcing QPR down to their own corner flag. Ivo Rossi, the man doing the defending. And a combination of Fire and Everett have pinched that back. Eiffel helped into midfield. Free kick being won by the Albion on the far right-hand side. Quite the engine, Odell Fire. And Sami Shushain, as he has done pretty much every set piece we've witnessed in the opening 35 minutes, will have a chance to deliver for the Seagulls. 2 in the R's wall, but Pedder steps away. This time, can Shushane's cross bear fruit? Deep towards the back post. Songi tries to help it back into the penalty area. Just misses Everett. Samuels takes over left wing. He'll look for a cross of his own. Thinks better of it. And slid into well by Ardakwa. Brighton Hove Albion will keep the ball with a throw. Everett. Jude Boyd scrambled it away. Moran picks up the loose pass for Eiffel. Header intercepts. Eiffel's won it back. Scrappy stuff. And then wrestled to the floor. A fire. Everett wanted the clever turn, bounced away from him, and Rendell takes no prisoners as he smashes it away. Rendell familiar with the Sussex seaside, spent last year on loan with Eastbourne Borough in the National League South, just down the road from Brighton. And if you lose in count, I believe this is Sammy Shushane's 6th corner delivery of the first half. Ben Wilson causing problems as he tries to disrupt goalkeeper Murphy Maloney. Shushane with the outswinger. Moran offering short. He's waved away. Rolled along the byline. Perpion. Moran driven into the penalty area. Flicked away but can be kept alive by Songi. Samuels crosses from deep. Bounces right along the face of goal. And Pip Blado helps behind. Shushane to deliver again, no option short this time. Across the face of goal, headed away at the near post by Jude Boyd. Samuels, back out to Shushane. Flag stays down, he'll cross along the near post, cleared away again by a blue and white shirt. They've defended crosses and set pieces excellently so far, QPR. Can't remember the last time a Crimson head was first to the ball. Moran almost bounces away from it, able to help it back to Samuels. Songi, long diagonal, perfectly finds Perpion. He'll just breeze past Pip Blado, still going Perpion, looking for Everett. Just got a little bit too cute around the penalty area. Bala, Ardakwa. Perpion channeling his inner Pascal Gross as he turns it away from pressure. And a misplaced pass though. Pedder looking for Ardakwa. Fire steps in. And the Fire's going to go on a one-man charge into QPR territory. Samuels is helping him out on the left wing. Samuels. Eiffel ahead of him. Instead goes to Wilson. Wilson looking to turn in the penalty area. The two centre-backs, Rossi and Rendell, just providing too much physicality for the R's at the moment. And now space the other way for Lloyd. Help coming from Bala, and he smashed it into the back of the net, and QPR have a second. Albion pressure had been building, but Stephen Bala may well have just released it. And the Albanian could not believe his luck as he found acres of space in the penalty area to rifle that one into the top left-hand corner. And this is not going to script for Shannon Ruth's side. They haven't been far short of perfect in the league. But they are struggling in this competition. A 3-0 defeat to Bournemouth, who are a Category 3 academy in their opening game. And they are 2-0 down within 40 minutes to QPR, the Category 2 academy, in their group here tonight. Ben Wilson standing over the restart. And what do Shannon Ruth's side have in the locker? It's one back again by QPR. Lloyd to Pedder. Murphy runs for Wilson. Eiffel with him on the right-hand side. Wilson cuts towards his left. Samuels. Moran. Shane in trouble there as he takes a touch away from it. Just about got the man on shout in time, and that's really been QPR's greatest asset, has been their pressure. Been happy to sit in and defend deep at times, but know when to put that pressure on, when to squeeze the Albion backwards. The other thing that's helped them is the performance of the two centre-backs, Rossi and Rendell. They've just won everything in the air. Jude Boyd, who's been with QPR since he was 8 years old. Songi to a fire, back to Cahill, bounces in front of Cahill, has to hammer it over the halfway line. Everett loses out to Pip Blado. Shane sweeping it into the path of Perpion. Now some space for the Australian on the right. Crosses first time. Loose in the penalty area. Moran nods back to Shane. Out to Samuels, but no one able to get a convincing touch towards goal. And Lloyd held it up really well. Pedder. Maybe another counter-attack on the cards for QPR. Still going Pedder. Reverse pass. Bala on his second goal. Driven towards Killian Cahill, who makes another fine save. Murphy on the follow-up. That one's over the bar. The game plan clear for QPR. Hit on the counter-attack, defend deep, and Bala almost making it 3. He has been a live wire for the R's. We can only imagine what Shannon Ruth will say to his side at the half-time break. Because that has been so uncharacteristic, and another pass there, which just isn't what we've seen from this side in recent weeks. Pedder with space again. He's broken past Shane to the edge of the area and rolled into the bottom left-hand corner. It's a third for QPR, and it's a fine finish from Rafferty Pedder. And looks of bemusement on the face of the Albion players. Pedder just kept running and running and running, and no one came to meet him until it was far too late, and he just swept it into the bottom left-hand corner. And the Seagulls are down 3-0 in the first half. A response most definitely needed, but first, that half-time whistle feels like it's needed. So for the third time this half, Ben Wilson stands over an Albion restart. Two minutes of added time to come. And plenty for Gary Dicker and Shannon Ruth to ponder what they're going to say in that 2 minutes. Albion up to 8th in the Premier League 2. After that wonderful run they've been on, they will sit bottom of the group unless something drastically changes here. Pedder. Held up by our dark one. There's a mistake from QPR at the back though. Wilson could be in. It's saved by Murphy Maloney. Another mistake from QPR as they try and bring it out from the back. Eiffel to Everett. Eiffel again, back into the penalty area, but hammered away. But when it's not your day, chances like that don't go in. And Ben Wilson, you'd back him to put that away in a heartbeat on a normal week. Perpion still with a chance on the right. Brought down by Bala. Just squared across the face of goal by Rendell. Not too dissimilar to QPR's first goal. Wilson went one-on-one with Murphy Maloney, but credit Maloney. He was really quick out his goal. Eiffel. Moran slides in as Jude Boyd tries to escape, and that will be the first booking of the afternoon. Yellow card for Andrew Moran. Seagulls have had enough set pieces. That's not been the problem. They've had enough possession. So Mahoney clearing away for QPR. Songi heads the first ball down to Moran. Moran loses out to Murphy. Mahoney hoofing away again. And that will do it for the first half of action. Work to be done for the young Seagulls. They go in at the half-time break, down 3-0 to QPR. Welcome back to live coverage of Queen's Park Rangers under-21s versus Brighton Hove Albion in the Premier League Cup. And what have the Seagulls gained from those 15 minutes they just spent with their coaches? Antef Songi huddling his troops up in and around the centre circle. And it goes without saying, the Albion will need just a little bit more if they are to try and get anything from this game. Ben Wilson to take the kickoff in the centre circle then. Doesn't look like there's been a change for either side, so Shannon Ruth allowing the players that got in this hole to try and get themselves out of it. But as I say that, we will see a substitution for the Seagulls. Sam Packham will come on. Looks like Luca Barrington as well will make his way onto the pitch. So Matt Everett making way. So backwards it goes for Brighton Hove Albion. Songi out to Furlong. Furlong to Songi again. Packham looks to have just taken his place next to Antef Songi, which suggests that Fire might have been the man to make way. Furlong, first time round the corner from Barrington looking for Samuels. It was a nice idea from Luca Barrington. One of those two players that came on, and it was a Fire that made way for Everett. Confirmation of that now. Here is Sam Packham, one of the substitutes, Barrington the other. Chips forward, headed on by Murphy. Moran picks up the loose ball. Songi hammers away. I wonder if there'll be a change of approach somewhere in there as well for the Seagulls. Pretty much like-for-like changes. Sam Packham can play that right centre-back role. Throw on the right, taken by Eiffel. Shane, Furlong on the back foot. Spoke recently about his excitement of getting increased first team involvement. First time ever he was in the Premier League squad, but QPR are bringing it forward on this right-hand side, and Dark got that one all wrong. Flashbacks for the Seagulls there, because they've got in trouble playing out from the back at times. This time QPR couldn't make them pay. Here is Furlong. Wilson running onto a long ball forward, not convincing clearance from Mahoney. Barrington picks it up. No space for him to try and force the shot from range, so Shane swings it out to Eiffel. Perpion. Back to Eiffel in the penalty area, rolled across goal but blocked away. And Albion will have a throw on the right-hand side. Seagulls have lost just one of their last 8 games in the Premier League 2. They're unbeaten in 6 games in all competitions against youth teams, so that's obviously excluding the Papa John's trophy games that this under-21 side play. Eiffel. It's gone straight out of play though for Brighton Hove Albion. This is the first time Seagulls have entered this competition. You can opt out of it, you can be invited or not invited to it as well, but it's the first time they've entered it since the 2017-18 season, when they made the quarter-finals and lost to the eventual runners-up Swansea. Went to penalties that tie, finished 9-8 to Swansea. Alzati and Aaron Connolly scored for the Seagulls that day. Murphy, almost intercepted by Ben Wilson. Jude Boyd, rather aimlessly sweeps that one forward, but it's been allowed to bounce. And then Packham able to help out Songi. Another bouncing ball. Lloyd. Moran, wonderful turn away from Pedder. Barrington. His first chance to run at the QPR back line. He's looking outside to Samuels, but just didn't get the necessary contact on it. Our Dark was the wrong side of Shushane. Beaten one challenge to Lloyd. No room to turn. Finds Jude Boyd on the right-hand side. Acres of space to cross. Deflected across the edge of the penalty area. But Perpion can help it to Moran. And once more, Barrington can get his head down and come the other way. Still going, Luca Barrington. Broke 3 challenges there, but just ran out of crimson shirts to pass to. Perpion. Packham. Sussex born. In the Hastings area. Amari Samuels. Can't find a way past Jude Boyd. Rossi giving it back to Samuels. Clears away at the second attempt. Songi surely shrugged in the back by Lloyd. Referee disinterested. Sam Shushane echoes Songi's appeals. QPR did play in this competition last season, unlike the Seagulls. They finished second on goal difference in a rather crazy group. Here's Moran on the left-hand side, looking for the byline, blocked behind by Rossi. Wanted a goal kick, it will be a corner. Shushane with another chance to deliver. And QPR weren't knocked out of this competition last year by the eventual winners, West Bromwich Albion, losing in the round of 16. This time, Shushane won't deliver. In fact, it'll be Luca Barrington, the substitute, to try and send one in. In-swinger from Barrington towards the back post. First header's won by a blue and white shirt again. Samuels takes it in stride. Shushane to cross. A good-looking delivery. Might run through to Songi. Eiffel breaks past his man and wins a free kick. Ball was slightly behind Marcus Eiffel. Did well to recognise the situation. Recognised that Lloyd, a forward, was stepping across and just knock it past him. You have to wonder how many of these set pieces will the Albion have that continue to be won first by the powerful QPR back line. Moran and Shushane standing over it. Barrington lurking around 25 yards from goal. Just 2 in the QPR wall. It's Pedder and Murphy. Andrew Moran to take. Good looking ball. Runs through at the back post to Packham, who could not help it over the line. And it deflects behind for another Albion corner kick. Bounced nicely into the path of Packham. Too many blue and white shirts between him and the goal. What the Seagulls do have is another corner. Barrington again to take. Driven low by Barrington, bounces past Perpion. Bala loses where the ball is exactly. Samuels, Shushane, Barrington, to Samuels. Songi, acres of space to cross. Rantef Songi deflects towards the near post. Well punched away by Mahoney though. Sprawling out of his goal to get 2 fists to that. Another delivery comes in for the Seagulls. This one looking for Samuels. Jude Boyd clears away. Such an impressive defensive performance from QPR. The 3-0 scoreline might suggest that perhaps the attacking side of their game has been most impressive, but it has been the way they've defended their penalty area from every cross, from every set piece. Seagulls will cross again though through Barrington towards the back post. Songi tries the clever flick. And the Albion will have yet another corner. Let's get the abacus out for this one. Barrington to take. Moran offering short. Pedder just keeping him in check. Short it goes to Moran. Chips it to no one in particular. Furlong's giving it away, and now once more QPR will come forward with numbers. One of them's Bala. He's driven towards the goal, and it's tapped behind by Killian Cahill at his near post. It is the same avenue of attack for QPR. Press high, counter-attack when the Seagulls have bodies committed forward. It's already created 3 goals. It almost created a 4th. But Cahill able to answer to it. He's made plenty of saves tonight, Killian Cahill, despite what the scoreline might suggest. Pedder with an in-swinger then from the left for QPR. Formerly of Tottenham Hotspur, is a very highly rated prospect. Towards the penalty spot it goes. First contact was made by Pip Blado. Cotter, Pedder. Just breezes past Shane, still going to Lloyd, back to Pedder. Wonderful challenge from Songi. Murphy and Cotter happy just to ping passes between the 2 of them. Lloyd's round the corner flick only finds Eiffel. Samuels. Amari Samuels still going forward, waiting for help that comes in the form of James Furlong. Can the left back conjure up a good cross? It is a brilliant cross right along the face of goal. No one able to get on it. Eiffel back to Barrington. Another cross for the Seagulls. This time Wilson does get a toe on it, but sends it wide. And that was the first delivery of real quality all game from James Furlong from the left. And it ran all the way through to the right-hand side. Eiffel put it back into the penalty area. But Furlong, or Wilson that is, sorry, just helps it past the post. Best chances of the game have fallen at the feet of Ben Wilson. The one-on-one after he won the ball high, and 2 half volleys or volleys similar to that one from around the edge of the 6-yard box, but hasn't been able to put one away. Songi out the stand and away. In case you were wondering what's happened to Loftus Road, no, this isn't Loftus Road. This is the Powderday Stadium, the home of Southern Premier Division Southside Hanwell Town. It is quite easy to clear a ball out the stadium in this particular ground. Jude Boyd. Pip Blado. Pedder. Pip Blado again. QPR just really enjoying possession. Something they were a little bit starved of in the first 15 minutes or so. Rossi, wonderfully done to break the Albion press. Murphy. And you wouldn't believe that QPR are sat 9th out of the 10 teams in the Professional Development League South Division, and that they've never finished in the top half of that league in the last 6 years. Here's Bala, running into Eiffel, hacked away by the Seagulls again. Long diagonal for the Super Hoops to chase up the right, and it's rolled into the path of Lloyd, and it's only a wonderful challenge from Songi which prevents a fourth. Bala dipping into that bag of tricks again, and Songi has to clear away at the near post again. And with half an hour to play, the Seagulls still with defending to do. And credit Antef Songi, hasn't let his head drop after the mistake for the first goal, has kept on going and has defended bravely, and now Marcus Eiffel's down. That's the one thing the Seagulls wouldn't want, is any injuries to come out today. Worth putting this game in context as well. 6 changes made by Shannon Ruth. Young Seagulls are playing in, if you count the Sussex Senior Cup, FA Youth Cup, Premier League 2, Premier League International Cup, this trophy, around 4 or 5 competitions this season. So yeah, sometimes you do have to experiment with your squad, experiment with tactics, and there may be an element of that this evening as well. Eiffel down on the deck. We are streaming the other Premier League Cup game coming up for the Seagulls on Friday night. Shannon Ruth under-21s taking on QPR tonight, obviously, and then Derby in that game on Friday. In this winter break, still Bournemouth and Monaco to come. That's in the Premier League International Cup, where the Seagulls have made a much brighter start, beating Feyenoord in their first game. A wonderful night at Lansing, which the man currently down, Eiffel, scored an absolute worldie, cutting in from the left and smashing it off the post and in. And Monaco, the next challenge. Also PSV to contend with in that group in the Premier League International Cup. Furthest the Albion have ever got in this trophy is the quarter-finals in 2016-17 and 2015-16. 16-17 they lost to the eventual winners, Swansea. QPR corner, Eiffel back on his feet. Rafti Pedder the man to take. And a substitution, although Eiffel was able to help himself off the pitch. He will have to be replaced by Jack Hinchelwood, a central midfielder, for a winger, so probably a change somewhere on the pitch for the Seagulls. Pedder's delivery towards the penalty spot. First contact was made by Lloyd, but it bounces over the bar. And when we talk about the step up from under-18s to under-21s, it has scarcely been done as seamlessly as it has been by Jack Hinchelwood, who has just looked right at home in Shannon Ruth's midfield this season. Started 9 games, scored twice, assisted once, but plays just in front of the back line, and Albion fans that maybe haven't had the chance to watch too much of the 21s this season, keep an eye on number 12, Jack Hinchelwood. Still just 17 years of age. He'll probably sit in there behind Moran. Just keep possession ticking over for the Seagulls. Not been featured in too many games like this one, though. Rossi. Away on the right-hand side. Songi. Hinchelwood heads away. Rossi from the Juventus there at the right side of the QPR back line. Plenty of youth tournaments with the Turin-based side at academy level. Blado intercepted on that right wing. Packham out of play though. QPR throwing. Barrington, touch towards his own goal, then just tries the volley out to the left-hand side for Samuels, and out of play once more. Jude Boyd able to come over and take it, signed his first pro contract with the Super Hoops in June. Volleyed cross towards the near post of Killian Cahill, who's able to gobble that one up. Samuels jumps with Jude Boyd. Barrington to the second ball. Pedder picks it up. Hinchelwood with a toe in. And now Perpion can come forward up the right-hand side. A poor ball though from the Seagulls. Furlong has to step in. Hinchelwood waiting for options ahead of him. Instead finds Shushane. Lovely diagonal from Shushane. Imari Samuels to Furlong, driven across goal but driven behind. And another crossing position goes a begging for Brighton Hove Albion. So here Paul Hall screaming instructions from the sideline for QPR. As I mentioned, his experience representing Jamaica almost 50 times, born in Manchester. And he will be very pleased with what he's seen from his side tonight as we see another Albion substitution. Sammy Shushane making way. And Benico Baker-Boerty coming on. Described by former Albion manager Graham Potter as one for the future. Baker-Boerty, signed initially on loan from Porto, that was made permanent in the summer. And he'll have 25 minutes or so to show what he's capable of in what is a fairly low pressure environment at this stage. Furlong breaks forward, crossing to the penalty area. It's another good delivery from Furlong. Bounces out to Jack Hinchelwood, clever back heel. Crossed by Perpion along the front of goal. Wilson hits it, it's blocked again. Baker-Boerty shoots towards the near post, and that one's wide as well. Didn't think twice, Baker-Boerty, as he cut in from the right-hand side onto that left boot, but the net's still yet to ripple for the Seagulls. Albion throw on this left flank. Furlong to take. Of course, the increasing involvement for Albion under-21 players with Roberto De Zerbi is a blessing and a curse. Shows that the pathway's there for what is ultimately a far more important level of football, where things are less performance-based and more results-based. But it does hurt Shannon Ruth's side. For example, Ed Turns, standout centre-back, been involved in 4 of the last 5 Premier League squads, so that's left the under-21s without Ed Turns. Evan Ferguson, another classic example, mentioned his international call-up in the first half. He's also been heavily involved with the first team. Here's Baker-Boerty though, one man that is available. Into Perpion, driven across goal. Wilson lets it run, and Hinchelwood runs onto it. Barrington trying to help it over the line, and it's cleared away. Wilson was smart to let that run across his body. It was Barrington, not Hinchelwood, the man that looked just to sweep it into the back of the net. But it was Jude Boyd with a wonderful clearance off the line, just to help it with his thigh over the bar. And as I said in the first half, after Ben Wilson missed that one-on-one, which would have backed him to finish. Sometimes it is just not your night, and that is the sense that grows stronger and stronger with every passing minute here at the Powderday Stadium. Songi brings it down well. Perpion to Baker Bowerty. Started his career with West Ham, did Baker Bowerty. Then Porto, and then now the Albion. Really started to shine in the Sussex Senior Cup of all competitions, where he earned the right to make that move permanent in the summer. Moran. Lovely football from him again. There's been enough individual quality from Andrew Moran tonight. Baker Bowerty across the area, and Barrington over the bar. For the form he's been in, you would have backed him to finish that one, but just got underneath it as it bounced rather awkwardly in front of Luca Barrington. 3 goals, 2 assists in his last 5 games for the Albion. Cahill forced to clear under pressure again. 20 minutes to go. Still it remains comfortable 3-0 lead for QPR. Competition has not been kind to the Seagulls this season. Baker Bowerty down the right wing. Rendell just able to smash it away. Another breakdown in communication. Gives possession back to QPR. Seagulls will have to wait till January 9th to try and continue their fine run going in the league. Pretty tasty affair with Crystal Palace on the return of the Premier League 2. Got 5 games in this competition and 2 in the International Cup to contend with till then, so plenty to keep them busy. An instant opportunity to bounce back from this on Friday, if it is to end this way, and QPR are to avoid the miracle in the final 20 minutes. Samuels. Barrington. Well driven across goal by Barrington, and Baker Bowerty taking a strange touch, which took it away from Packham and took him about 30 yards towards his own goal. Furlong up to Samuels, who just hasn't been able to make it stick in this one. Baker Bowerty, help coming on the right-hand side. A couple of step-overs from Perpion across the face of goal, and then helped away from goal in the end, it seems, by Barrington. Not sure who got the final touch on it. Perpion with the step over, drove towards the byline, and it was in fact Barrington, and it was just caught behind him, and as he flicked a heel, trying to send it into the back of the net, sent it out for a QPR throw, and the wait for a Seagulls goal goes on. Furlong breaks away from pressure. Now there's space opening up on the right-hand side for Perpion. Rolled across the penalty area to Wilson, helped out to Barrington, swept towards goal by Andrew Moran. Well, there is one back for the Seagulls, and it was a wonderful team move, finished off beautifully by Andrew Moran, who just cannot stop scoring at the moment. Wilson with the first touch back to Barrington, Barrington to Moran, and just bent his foot around the ball and whipped it past Mahoney into the side netting. Is that the spark? Is that the injection of motivation the Albion needed to try and get back into this game? And no surprise who was at the heart of that goal. Barrington's assist, Moran's finish. I gave you Barrington's stats a moment ago, but that's now 3 goals, 3 assists in Barrington's last 6, and 4 goals, 3 assists in Moran's last 7. So no surprise to see those two combining for that goal. Will it be just a consolation, or is that going to be the start of a wonderful comeback for the Seagulls? Moran. Looking for Barrington. Cleared away by Rossi. Now Gary Dicker and Shannon Ruth uttering words of encouragement towards their crimson-shirted players. Barrington. It's Moran, sorry, spinning. Looking for the long switch. Baker Boaty can pick up the loose ball in the centre circle. Songi. Packham. Perpion. He's had a much improved second half, one of many in the Seagull shirt. Taken quickly, Hinchelwood. Baker Boaty, what does the substitute have in his locker? Moran again, space to shoot, blocked in front of goal. Bala has to clear away, and all of a sudden it's become a bit more frantic from the Super Hoops. Packham for Hinchelwood. Packham's continued his run. Hinchelwood waves him away. Songi. Moran, space on the left-hand side. Instead, he's gone back in field, where there's a challenge coming in the penalty area, and it will be an Albion penalty. And Hinchelwood brought down as he broke towards the penalty area. And all of a sudden, the nerves are jangling amongst that QPR back line. The space looked like it was out left. Instead, Moran just threaded it back through the heart of the QPR defence to Jack Hinchelwood, who has slid crudely to the turf. And with 15 minutes left to play, Ben Wilson has the chance to bring this within 1. Murphy Mahoney trying the mind games in the QPR goal, and he'll be booked for that as well. So the referee taking no prisoners there. But can Ben Wilson silence the noise and bring the Albion within 1? It's Wilson versus Mahoney, and it's 3-2 QPR, and all of a sudden the Albion are back in this one. 15 minutes ago, this game looked dead and buried. 2 quick-fire goals in the space of 5 minutes have breathed new life into Shannon Ruth's side, and they are on the verge of a miracle comeback. Furlong. QPR at 6s and 7s. They don't know how to react to what's being thrown at them. Albion take the free kick quickly. Moran looking for Perpion again. He has been one of the large factors in turning this game on its head. Perpion across the face of goal. Might drop to Wilson, helped behind by Rendell. That turnaround not quite complete yet, though. One more goal needed to bring the Albion level. They have a corner kick on the right through Luca Barrington. They have had a hatful of corner kicks in this game. Barrington, out-swinging delivery towards the penalty spot. Moran trying to help it towards Baker Boaty, who will fight to keep this one in play. In fact, he'll just let it run for a throw to keep possession for the Seagulls. Samuels. Furlong, another long diagonal. Pip Blado. Gets the first ball, Rendell the second. Killian Cahill going to let that one run for a Seagulls goal kick. Well, only 2 weeks ago, QPR were on the right side of a crazy game where they were 4-0 down inside 25 minutes and came back to draw 4-4 with 4 second-half goals. Are they going to be the wrong side of a crazy comeback today? They will if Wilson can round Mahoney here, but the flag's up. Rendell, Rossi. QPR were more than happy just pinging passes around the Albion press for the entirety of the start of this second half. And all of a sudden, every 5-10 yard pass has become a bit more frantic. It's become a bit less simple as that mental factor starts to take hold. Packham, Perpion, Baker Boerty crossing all the way out to this left-hand side. Samuels. Furlong, he'll whip a delivery into the 6-yard box, and Mahoney able just to jump and pluck that one away from the head of Cam Perpion. It's a poor ball out from Mahoney. Run past Moran. Songi jumps into a challenge. And Lloyd wants a word with Antef Songi. Be a yellow card for the Albion skipper. Nothing too surprising about that one. QPR taking their time over this free kick. Nothing too surprising there, but the referee still putting his cards back in his pocket after Antef Songi was shown the yellow card. Rossi to Rendell. Back to Murphy Mahoney. Slammed away, rather aimless ball forward. Possession back with the Seagulls again. Baker Boerty can't get clean contact on it. Rendell, how important will his voice be? He's played in meaningful league games before, as I mentioned last season with Eastbourne Borough in the National League South, chasing the playoffs. Rossi, just shy of the halfway line. Cleverly threaded through the legs of Samuels by Jude Boyd. But Bala, who was such a force for the first 70 minutes of this game, hasn't really had a touch. Hinchelwood to Barrington. Barrington does well. Patient play. Perpion. Breaking past Rafferty Pedder, still going Cam Perpion. Baker Boerty. Moran looking to skip past the challenge, might run through to Samuels. Back to Furlong, sets himself. Samuels again. Furlong, Barrington, will he pull the trigger? Hinchelwood, back to Barrington, and blocked by a combination of blue and white shirts. The pressure is building, and the Seagulls will have another corner. Taken short. Perpion, breaking into the penalty area, surely it will be another penalty. The referee waves at Perpion to get up. But we didn't have the best view of it. But as Perpion skips past his man, and maybe in truth, Jude Boyd pulled out the challenge at the right opportunity, just stepping away and pulling his leg back. At first glance, it seemed like Perpion was tripped to the deck, but that second slow-mo view showing that maybe Jude Boyd in time just pulled his leg back, both arms in the air. Songi Still pleading the case to the referee. Another look at it. Let's see. Did he get that leg back in time? It's close. It's close. Every view's told a different story so far. Real time, it looked like a penalty. Second view looked like Jude Boyd comfortably got back, and then at the third attempt, it looked like maybe he didn't pull it back quite in time. He played his innocence. Even while the action was taking place, he had both arms in the air. As the QPR skipper sees a yellow card for drinking his water bottle in the middle of the pitch. QPR trying everything now to slow this game down, and what a hectic last 13 minutes to this game we've had. Perpion chips it into Pedder. Wins a free kick. Pedder kicks it away. It'll probably be another yellow card for QPR. That referee choosing to let this one go. After only seeing one yellow card in the first half, you're seeing a plethora in the second half. Songi. Packham. Up the line it goes. Baker Boerty. Pedder for company. He's gone past Pedder. He's whipped it towards the back post. Let run by Barrington. Not on purpose, but it's found Moran. Moran's back heel to Furlong. Furlong digs out across, and loose in the area, it's cleared by Pedder. Songi. Interesting to note, QPR have not dipped into their subs bench. And that's surprising given how tired the 11 out there for the Hoops looks right now. Baker Boerty. Another diagonal. This one finds Amari Samuels as a nice scaffolding pole obstructs our view momentarily. Moran. Hinshelwood. Lovely ball from Hinshelwood. Picks out Baker Boerty. Two substitutes combining. Baker Boerty's back heel. Rendell has to take evasive action and help it behind for a Seagulls corner kick. And Rendell's got himself down in a heap after making that challenge, and another QPR player going down as well, and Murphy. Maybe now we will see some Hoop substitutions. Seagulls are already out of the under-18s version of this competition, losing 2 out of their 3 games. Palace and Sheffield United. The win versus Leeds was not enough. Under-21s looking to avoid the same fate, although unlike the under-18s competition, the 21s will play everyone twice. Corner kick from Baker Boerty. Towards the near post it goes. Cleared away at the edge of the area by Murphy. Albion throw left-hand side. 3 minutes plus stoppage time to try and change their fate. Moran. Hinshelwood. Wonderful feet from Baker Boerty. Runs into Pedder, but Pedder's going back towards his own goal and has to smash it away and plays it off Baker Boerty for a QPR throw. And as expected, they will take their time over this as well. So Pip Blado to take. First header's won by Hinshelwood. Lloyd to the second. Perpion plays it off Pedder. Seagulls throw. Packham's given it away. Darkwa to Lloyd, and he's going to run for the corner flag, and Packham's battling back to try and win it back for the Seagulls. Pedder. Been at the heart of most things QPR have done well, and he's done really well all the way to the edge of the area and forces a good late save out of Cahill. Helped back towards goal, might run for Jude Boyd. Can QPR wrap this one up? Murphy will strike, and the Albion clear it away again. Songi slides in, Barrington. It's nice football from the Seagulls, but at some point the ball does need to go towards the final third. And they'll go back to go forwards through Cahill. Perpion again. Looking for Hinchelwood. Rendell's first to it. Have a look at that save. Pedder, who scored a wonderful goal in the first half, denied in this second half. Second attempt was struck by Adarkwa, third by Jude Boyd. Seagulls have it edge of the 18-yard box though. Samuels, Barrington, space for Baker Bowerty, curled towards goal! Oh, he's only gone and done it! The turnaround is complete, and it's the substitute, Beniko Baker Bowerty, with the goal. QPR crestfallen. Seagulls have stunned them at the death. 3 goals in 20 minutes have turned this game on its head. And the unbeaten run when playing youth teams looks set to continue for Shannon Ruth's side. Bala crestfallen as he makes way. A Jose will come on in his place. Shannon Ruth would be the very first to admit this has been anything but the Seagulls' best, but it might be enough to get something out the game. This tie looked dead and buried 60 minutes in. It has risen from the grave now, and with 5 minutes of added time, the only question becomes, can they complete the full turnaround? Could they get a fourth? Seagulls have won it again. It's Moran. He'll think about a shot. Perpion. He couldn't, could he? Driven across goal and blocked away. Packham's turn to cross, flicked towards the back post. Samuels will try and keep it alive. And he'll instead settle for a Seagulls corner kick. Luca Barrington to take. Furlong. Back to Barrington. Across the 6-yard box it goes. Runs for Furlong again. Moran breaking his way past challengers, and then a wonderful tackle from Lloyd in the end to help it away. Samuels. Moran again on that right foot. Chip towards Songi, headed away by Pip Blado. Wilson, his shot's blocked, slid through on the rebound by Rendell. You can see what that meant to the QPR skipper. He blocked Wilson's first effort and cleared it behind. You wouldn't know he's just given away a 3-goal lead on home soil. Albion corner kick from the right. Substitute Baker Bowerty to take. Flicked on towards the back post, runs past Songi. Goal kick, the decision from the referee. Murphy Mahoney to take the goal kick. for QPR. What has been a whirlwind of a Premier League Cup game. Rendell heads away. Pip Blado looking over the top for Lloyd. You have to think now, QPR, with what they've endured in this fixture, are probably just going to try and look to hold out and at least get something out the game. Perpion run into by Lloyd, who was tracking back. Murphy and Jack Hinchelwood getting acquainted. And the referee wants a word with Lloyd. It'll be a yellow and a second yellow for Lloyd, who seems to have talked himself into trouble there. Challenge probably not worthy of a yellow, although the Albion were breaking forward. There was enough blue and white shirts back. I think it was the combination of the tackle and whatever was said to the referee in the aftermath of it, which has seen Lloyd make way. And his reaction tells you everything you need to know about the last 25 minutes or so of this game. Moran, Furlong, back to Moran. Baker Boerty, 30 seconds left to play. Baker Boerty, early cross, loose in the area, driven towards goal, runs to Samuels, cleared off the line by Pip Blado. A miraculous intervention prevents the Albion from completing the most stunning of comebacks. They were this close. Samuels towards the back post and Pip Blado leaping at the ball to clear away. Wonderful instincts, but the defending's not done yet. Left arm up in the air. Barrington, back post, back into the penalty area. Not cleared properly and towed over the line. They've done it. Moran at the death in the last minute of stoppage time. 3-0 down, 4-3 up. 4 goals in 25 minutes. And Shannon Ruth's side have completed the most miraculous of comebacks. QPR never cleared their lines properly, and who else but Andrew Moran with his second of the game to stab it over the line. Every emotion under the sun the Seagulls have gone through in this one. And it looks like their unhappy start in this Premier League Cup competition is set to come to the most joyous of ends. Andrew Moran's 5th in his last 6 games. And will QPR even have time to kick off? That will do it here in London. A whirlwind game in which the Seagulls look dead and buried, but 4 goals in the final 25 minutes complete the most crazy of comebacks for Shannon Ruth's side. Andrew Moran, the hero again. Your final score, QPR 3, Brighton Hove Albion 4.